The Sims 4 just had a mega live stream. It went for 2.5 hours and it covered two things. Number one, it covered the new infant update that's coming to base game, and this will add a completely new life stage to your game. But they also showcased gameplay from the upcoming expansion pack, The Sims 4 Growing Together. And let me tell you right now, this is gonna blow you guys away because this is the most in-depth expansion pack we have ever seen in The Sims 4. It's taken me since last night to this afternoon to watch the live stream, understand the new features, get all the timestamps and information for you guys. So first up, Simguru Graham and Simguru Morgan showed the new infant items that are coming to the base game update. You can see over here we have little infant books, little side tables, clutter items to do with infants. I love this little toy basket, and these all come in different swatches too. So it looks like we're going to be getting like more than just the infant life stage. We're getting all the objects to go with it. Lots of little toys, lamps, new bassinets. They also showed there's going to be these new fences, which is really cute, and you're going to be able to like child lock it. Although I think the toddlers might be able to break out of it, maybe the infants as well, but there is baby proofing right here, and I love the colors of this fencing as well. And then there's a whole heap of new cribs, including some at the back here. At the top of the screen, those are travel cribs, so you'll actually be able to put those in your inventory. But you can see they suit some of the base game aesthetics that we already have in the game, so it can match your existing furniture as well. You can now have a quote-unquote science baby as a single parent or as a couple. You can just see down here it actually costs $1,200 as a couple as well as a single parent. So in the end, they had a science baby with Bella. They used their genetic material to have a new baby through science. And then when they come home from the hospital, you can name them, and then they will pop up in a little crib here. I'm so glad we have a new crib because I was getting really sick of the original one. Now, the babies have also had a bit of an update as well. Their skin tone range is now the same as adults. Previously, it wasn't as big a range. They've also corrected the eye color, and the ways they actually move and animate has been improved as well. So I believe you can move more seamlessly from action to action when you're caring for them. They also react to weather if you have the Sims 4 season. So if it's storming, apparently they can get a little bit more scared. Children can now interact with them as well. And the newborn stage is a little bit shorter because we now have infants as well. And I don't know about you guys, but I always found the newborn life stage was something I wanted to rush through. So I'm not too mad about that. And you can see like the heads moving a little bit more. You can go from action to action, whereas previously you had to put the baby down again before you do the next thing. And I think the show off baby 2 action has been improved as well, because previously it was very finicky and it didn't really work very well. And there's also a preference too. Oh, I think that's the new show of baby interaction. There's also a new preference for breast milk or bottle milk, so you don't always have to select one or the other every time. And then when they age up, they of course go into the world of infants, and infants do have new traits. They have cautious, sensitive, calm, intense, wiggly, and sunny. And the aging up animation from baby to infant is the cutest thing you'll ever see. Check this out. There's a little cloud that floats down to the ground. I thought that was really beautiful. It reminded me of Care Bears or something. So then they showed off infants in Creator Sim. I won't go through all of this, but you can definitely go back and watch it if you want to. There's a whole heap of new gorgeous little clothing options. Some of them are the same as toddlers, just in smaller sizes, but there's also new looks as well. Love the teddy bear outfit. And there's also some seasonal wear there too for hot weather and cooler weather. If you have seasons installed, they'll probably be really handy, but I thought a lot of these were really gorgeous. And I also have to say I love the animation of the infant like sitting on its little butt thing, because they tend to move around a little bit, which you'll just see here. If you want to see like the back, they'll actually roll over to their tummy, which is quite cute. There's also glasses for infants and helmets as well. So in case you guys don't know, a lot of infants are born and need a little bit of reshaping to their head. So helmets are quite a common thing that infants do wear. And this one's probably the cutest, the aviation one. Another thing that I really liked about this was all of the hair options, because obviously infants sometimes don't have as much hair. So there's some like softer, wispy kinds than maybe the toddlers have. They also have teeth options and the new skin marks or birthmarks, skin details. And these actually tend to fade as they get older, but they're also available as adults if you do want to keep the birthmarks on your sim as well. So there's lots of different ones there, and there's different swatches to suit different skin tones. So as you can see here, Eliza Pancakes now has a birthmark on her eye, and another really lovely addition is they have some skin details such as stretch marks and a cesarean scar, which I thought was really awesome considering so many people have cesarean scars, and stretch marks is definitely something I've been using as custom content in the past, so to have it officially in the game is a pretty big deal. And in customization, you can select if a sim produces milk or not. They then showcased a bit of infant gameplay. This is the infant obviously having a bath in their little butt holder. You guys are gonna have to remind me again. I don't know anything about babies, so I feel like I can learn a lot from infants in The Sims. But that is obviously so cute how Liza is interacting with the infant. And depending on how well you do look after your baby, they will form an attachment to your sim, and the attachment does have a strong meaning with how the infants will grow up and experience the rest of their life. And you'll see these attachments through moodlets depending on how well you care for them. So when they age up, they'll have reward traits such as a happy infant, top-notch infant, unhappy infant, and an unhappy infant will have a hard time trusting Sims further into their life. This is also a list of the new baby foods, and they will react to the baby food. Bottle or breastfeeding will apparently satisfy their hunger better than the baby food. So Eliza's just doing some bottle feeding here. Little Amelia was unsure about the mashed peas. Maybe this food will need to be explored again. So you can see here the kids playing peekaboo as well with Amelia, even though she's crying. She's a little bit sad and needs to go to bed. But you can see there that now the kids can interact with the infants too. So there's more like cross-age interaction, which is nice. And then this is a nice little crib that I think was upgraded, and the mobile will help soothe the infant to go to sleep more easily. So when Eliza puts little Amelia in bed in their cute little bear suit, you can then play the lullaby. There you go. Then it turns on and plays a nice song, and then Amelia's straight asleep. I wish I could have lullaby like that and go to sleep at night. So that's pretty much the main things about infants. But if you guys would like to see that explored more in depth, then definitely check out James's video, because he did like a full video on this portion of the live stream. I'm really looking forward to playing with infants. I think they're going to be really cute, but I'm also nervous because toddlers are really hard work, and I feel like the infant is going to be even harder. So we'll see how we go. So after exploring the infants, we moved on to the Growing Together trailer, which you'll see in a second, before Sim Guru Doi, who is a leading designer on the pack, and Sim Guru Morgan, I think lead producer, before they come on and talk about a little bit more. You guys have probably seen this trailer, I think, but they just wanted to say that the point of this expansion pack is to celebrate the full lifetime and memorable milestones of every sim and every sim family, making family relationships and all relationships more meaningful in your gameplay and feel like they are deeper, and also to help make Sims truly unique. They're also wanting you to explore the drama of life, so there's new features for players to start their Sims in a unique way, but then through your gameplay, you might have opportunities to take their storylines in a different direction, which will be really fun as well to have a little bit more of those gameplay prompts, because I know there's a lot of players who are like, I don't know what to do once I start my game, and those prompts I think will be a really big help. But like I said, we have so much to go through today, so I'm not gonna like spend lots of time on each thing, but they did start with Create a Sim. You can watch the whole thing if you want to. They were going for urban, casual, everyday wear, and there's also obviously new things to suit each life stage too. And I personally really like seeing items for elders. So we're going to definitely explore the clothing more once the pack comes out and we can really look at everything. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going to be doing a lot of videos and a lot of gameplay. One of the new features of Create a Sim is family dynamics, which you can see here under each of the household relationships. And basically the family dynamics will open up new interactions between certain Sims. You can have a more difficult dynamic, which might make your Sims have less happy interactions, or they might be quite supportive, jokesters. And whilst you set them in Create a Sim, meaning they're mostly permanent, they can change over time through gameplay. gameplay. And they'll also affect the Sims' autonomous behavior. So it might cause Sims to avoid each other if they're difficult or distant from one another. They might feel awkward around them or playful. And if, say, a daughter moves out of home, a mum might not call them as often if they have more of a difficult relationship, whereas a supportive mum might call in more. It pulls on my heartstrings a little bit that I can now tell these stories in The Sims. So I think that's going to be a massive game changer. There's also a new likes and dislikes system, so you can now have up to 50 likes and dislikes. There's also 2 new categories. There's Sim characteristics and there's also conversation topics. The Sim characteristics that you choose to like or dislike will affect your Sim's compatibility with Sims who have a like in the same category. So you can get an idea of some of the Sim characteristics you can choose here: hardworking, funny, high energy, and it's just who or what kind of Sims your Sim likes. So for example, spirited Sims are all about positive energy. So if your Sim likes spirited Sims, it means other Sims with traits like outgoing, bro, or cheerful will gain some compatibility with your Sim. However, traits like gloomy will lower their compatibility with your Sim. So it really just decides how well your Sim is going to get along with other Sims, and it might help them get along with them, or it might hinder how well they get along with them. So definitely make gameplay more challenging if you choose to dislike a lot of different kind of Sims. The other category, conversation topics, is your Sim's preference for other Sims making conversation with them. So it's basically what they want to talk about or what they don't want to talk about. So complaints, for example, deep thoughts, deception, compliments, affection. And again, this is going to affect your Sim's relationships, how difficult or how easy it is for your Sims to get along with other Sims. So for example, Sims that like to speak to Sims with deep thoughts, they enjoy thought-provoking or emotional conversations. Sims that dislike deep thoughts just want conversations to be a bit easier and lighthearted. So that's some pretty major and more in-depth kind of gameplay as well. Coming to the new pack, new aspirations for kids in the multi-skill category. So we've got 4 new aspirations here: slumber party animal, playtime captain, creative genius, which helps with creative and mental skills, and mind and body. So we then got to see the new world of San Sequoia, which has 3 neighborhoods, and it's loosely inspired by San Francisco. The 3 neighborhoods are Anchor Point Wharf, Gilbert Gardens, and Hopewell Hills. Some of the builds featured in this world are by 3 creators: Deligracy, me, Lil Simsy, and Zach. So Hopewell Hills is kind of like the sleepy suburbs, which I think we're going to see first. And I think this will be really good for families to grow up in. This build, I think, was by Lil Simsy, and it's actually a 4-bedroom starter home. But I know that SimGuru Morgan for this stream added a whole heap of objects to it. So there's some cool things. There's like a really cool pirate ship over there. There's also a sequoia stump because there's actually no sequoia trees. This is like the last standing one, which is really sad with like this little flower growing out of it. So they talked about a bit of the lore. There's lots of lore to find out as well from asking different Sims around the neighborhood. So after exploring around the place a little bit, they speak about compatibility. So if you notice these little jigsaw pieces around the Sims' heads, these jigsaw pieces represent how compatible Sims are, and this is based on the family dynamics. So it would have been a bit confusing if you didn't have any idea how compatible they would be. So this is just like a really easy image representation of how well they're going to get along. So obviously the jigsaw pieces that click together, you know, they're going to be very compatible, amazing compatibility, whereas the jigsaw pieces further away, maybe bad compatibility. There is also a brand new pie menu. This is the pie menu, so usually how you control what your Sims do. And it's just been reorganized. I think this will be in base game as well for all players because it was just getting a little bit messy. So they've freshened it up. And you'll also see more interactions between different ages. So depending on what interactions you select, your family dynamics will change through your gameplay as well. It doesn't just fully rely on the family dynamics in Create a Sim. So from these these Sims interacting, a pop-up has come up saying new family dynamic of strict. When it comes to Mama and Kara, a sense of order seems to be abound as the younger Sim has a deep respect for their older family member. So the game's never going to force you to do anything, but it can prompt you to either take this as an opportunity for gameplay or decline it. It's also interesting that different ages are more compatible than other ages, kind of like in real life. Often kids will get along with each other more easily, whereas like a teen and a kid, it might be a little bit more difficult. So another cool thing, there's so many things, is the new temporary stay system. And this is basically Sims coming for temporary stays by kind of just showing up and asking if they can stay, or you can also sort it out through the calendar yourself. This Sim, Kyle, apparently we don't know him, but he knows us. So when you say yes to a Sim staying, they will carry their little suitcase, and this kind of works like a wardrobe, I think. You can also grab it from Build and Buy too. This is Kyle. And then Kyle just walks in and comes to stay. I think your guests can actually help look after the kids. And also you can see in the background the little baby on the rug for a second too. And the suitcase opens up like this, which is really cool. And then you can use it as like a wardrobe and open it and close it, put it in your inventory, I suppose. So there's a few different interactions there. So you can see here, Kyle is staying from Monday to Saturday, but you can also invite people to stay too. And you can ask them to help out. So now Kyle's, helping out with the kids. In this stream, we also got to see some of the quirks that infants develop. This infant is actually aggressive, and you can discover 3 toddler quirks. We also saw that there are now midlife crises that can happen to your Sim. So Ron here has decided fishing is his thing and wants to do it more. So a midlife crisis is essentially a temporary aspiration. In their panel, it'll actually say they're having a midlife crisis. This Sim has a desire for adventure, and these are all the different parts of this temporary aspiration you need to fulfill. And the more of these you complete will decrease how long this midlife crisis will go for. And I assume the midlife crisis is just going to make them miserable. So you're probably going to want to speed through it as quickly as possible and get it all over and done with. Another really cool thing is you can have workplace rivals now. So this Sim also has Bella Goth as a workplace rival. So you won't be able to get a promotion with a workplace rival. So you'll have to use new options whilst you're at work to resolve it. Or you could invite Bella Goth over and talk about the issues to try and resolve it. Or you could take care of Bella Goth, if you know what I mean. If she no longer existed, there would no longer be a rival. Some other notable adult life events that can happen is burnout. Sim might get burnout. They may be laid off from work. If you get laid off from work, they also said some Sims around them might prompt your gameplay and try and help them out with some other opportunities. So I really can't wait to see how all of that works, and that'll help a lot with our Let's Play, I think, and storytelling. And like all of these things are just layers upon layers, creating more depth in the game. So adults aren't the only ones who are going to, experience these big events in their life. There is this new thing called milestones, and milestones can be in different categories depending on the age group. So adults have firsts, like first fire, first promotion, first woohoo, judging by these images, life milestones, birthdays, etc. Social, like getting married. But if you compare this to infants, their milestones are a little bit different because they have to develop their motor skills. Rolling over to their back for the first time is a milestone that's being unlocked in the stream. And that was achieved through running tummy time interaction to kind of help train them to do that. The dotted lines around these milestones, that is kind of like what's coming up next, like what you could achieve next. So the different milestone categories for infants are fine motor, gross motor, first, life, social as well. So milestones are really important for infants because you're going to unlock new interactions by reaching their milestones. So for example, if you want your infant to sit in a high chair, they're going to have to be able to sit up or hold their head up, I think, which are milestones before achieving the high chair. So toddler milestones are first, life, social, and also cognitive. So they're a little bit more developed, and they also have their motor skills too. Learning to walk, learning to dance is one that you might want to unlock too. And a really cool thing is you can go back and look at all of your Sims milestones achieved throughout their life. You'll be able to select different life stages and check back on what milestones they did reach earlier in their life. How cool is that? Reaching these milestones will give your Sims object rewards. Well, this is a certificate of marriage from reaching the marriage, like little baby handprints, things like that, just to help decorate your house and make it feel like you can celebrate that achievement. Not all milestones are good ones. For example, this Sim, I think, peed himself, so he has the milestone of peeing himself for the first time, bladder failure. And because it was on the home lot, the milestone remembers where they were. So now when he goes back to the location of that bad thing happening, it may affect his mood buffs too. Unfortunately, it happened at his own home, so I guess they have to move now. Milestones do add more depth to the game, and there's also another feature with children called confidence. And a child Sim's confidence level can increase or decrease depending on things like their skill gain, school performance, positive and negative socialization, succeeding or failing. I suppose milestones are going to also affect their confidence. Whether their family will praise or criticize them will affect their confidence. And what that contributes to is when they age up, they will have either high self-esteem or low self-esteem, and that will actually affect them in their life going forward. So I am very keen to see if you can resolve that when they're older. Like, can you work on their confidence to make them feel better about themselves as they get older? I really hope so. Otherwise, that'll be really sad if they have low self-esteem for the rest of their life. But even something as simple as like falling off the monkey bars apparently can give them low confidence because they may see it as like a bad experience. So it's really important to, bring your kids up and make them feel good so they have a positive life ahead. And you can get little moodlets that can show if they're feeling good about themselves. They also showed the standing piano. Kids now have fundamental skills and regular skills, which are essentially adult skills. The adult skills they will gain more slowly, but it does mean they will age up with having already established those skill levels, which might be helpful. Then they can actually grow into a teenager with an existing piano skill. We got to see the new tree house, which is really cute. A project for a group of Sims to work on over time, and it will also increase their skills as well. So they can build a tree house together. And once it's built, they can actually play on the balcony and have objects up there. So I'll just skip ahead. There's also a whole heap of different interactions you can do up here. And then there's also upgrades as well and decorations. So this is like a fairy decoration. There's a pirate hangout decoration. And it looks like the Space Explorer one as well. So that is super cute. And I love that they can climb to the top of it and you can actually put furniture up there. So the upgrades is like adding a slide, a bell, I think a pole you can go up and down, and also lights. And then you can change the colors of the lights. Oh, you can also woohoo in it. Kids can ride bikes now, which we saw in the trailers, and they will need to learn how to ride their bike before they ride it. So this is a really cute animation of the kid like learning to ride the bike, and the parents can also help teach them. There's a few different bike designs too, and new adult bikes as well. I just love that animation. Your Sims will also lose their teeth as children. So you can see this Sim has a loose tooth and they can pull it out if they want to, or they can wiggle the loose tooth if they want to be a little less intense. But this Sim's just gonna rip out the tooth, and then when they do rip it out, they also have a gap between their teeth. Let's see if they show it. The Sim's closing their mouth like a kid probably would. So you can then get the kid to leave their tooth for the tooth fairy. And if they're lucky, when they wake up, they'll have a nice surprise from the tooth fairy, which I think might be objects and also money. This Sim got 84 simoleons. Kids these days. And they got a little tooth fairy certificate as well they can put on the wall, and maybe a poster. There's also another thing in their inventory right here. This is a friendship bracelet, which we'll talk about in a second. And there's also keepsake boxes, which you can see here on the shelf. And keepsake boxes are a really special addition to this pack. They can actually be handed down generations, and not just by putting them in another Sim's inventory. Like your Sims can actually choose a Sim they are close to, like your elder Sim can. Yeah, choose who they designate the keep box to. And then the keepsake boxes have special items in them. So this is going to be amazing for if you're into legacy challenges. So you can have like this box handed down every generation until the end and have lots of family memories packed into it. And this is also a really good way to fix family dynamics if you're not really happy with them. Apparently you can do a few interactions with that box to help fix maybe some family members that aren't getting along so well. So the friendship bracelets your Sims can make, and you don't have to make them with the new friendship bracelet kit that comes with this pack. I think you can also use like the nifty knitting, and then once it's made, you can choose a Sim to share the bracelet with, and they'll actually wear them until they just fall off eventually. But if you do exchange a friendship bracelet in front of another Sim who is close to the same Sim, that Sim might feel sad or get jealous that they weren't given a friendship bracelet. Drama. The really sad thing there is you can demand the friendship bracelet back. I mean, what kind of grandmother does this? That is so mean. And now Kara feels hurt, so that will affect their sentiments. There's also a change table in this pack. I actually thought the change table would be in the base game update, but I don't think it is. I think this might be a feature of Growing Together, which is a shame. But the change table is really cool. I'm excited to use it for my Sims nurseries. And there's also a rubbish bin next to the change table, and I believe that's like a separate object that actually slots into it. And that means your Sims will just automatically put the diaper in the trash when they're finished with it. If you don't have the bin there, they might leave them around. I don't know. But yeah, this is nice to see that you can actually change their diaper on a proper object, and that infant just peed everywhere. So I think they might have like a pee on caregiver milestone unlocked. What a memory. What a milestone. So we mentioned earlier that if a gate is baby proofed, the infant may try to break out, and this one actually succeeds. So there they go. Actually, no, that's not an infant, that's a toddler. So toddlers can break through. There's also some splash pads in their backyard. There's a community lot with splash pads, but you can also build your own splash pads for them to play in. And Jenna just had their first laugh. This is also like a celebration object. I think it just like pops out confetti. I'm not really sure what it does other than look fun. They did say that there are new events as well. So the new events you can have are slumber parties, baby showers, and family reunions. I am so excited to have a slumber party, and I'm also excited to have a baby shower and a family reunion as well. And you can also have these events while your Sim is having another Sim temporarily stay. So you can invite the family to stay with you or a Sim to stay with you. I actually wonder if you can have more than one Sim stay. I hope so. And then also host a family reunion at the same time. James always makes fun of me of how I say reunion. So obviously the slumber party means there are also sleeping bags in the game now. I've been wanting that for ages, and I feel like sleeping bags with kits or stuff packs like the movie Hangout stuff pack will be really cute, or the toddler stuff pack. Or was it a kit? I can't remember now. It's all blurring into one. But you know, doing like outdoor movie nights will be really cute. So there's also family frames. This is just like an easy way to display your family's pictures. And there is a family picture right here. So I was wondering if there's a new like family photo you can take, but they didn't say anything about that in the stream. So I'm not sure if they just took a picture of the family members standing next to each other. I feel like that would be an amazing addition to the game if they just put your family portrait in a frame. I would love that, and it would be so great for legacy challenges too. So then they traveled over to another neighborhood to show a few other things. So we're heading over to the wharf area, I think, and this is actually where I built a community lot for this pack. I built the library here. I have a video coming out showing the process of building this through the development of this pack as well, which I'm really excited to show you guys. This area is called Anchor Point Wharf. And there's also a movie theater here. It is a rabbit hole movie theater. So you can see different movies at the theater, and depending on what you see, there'll be different animations on the outside. And your Sims will get like a buff from that, depending on what you see. These two are feeling a little bit romantic. So this is a little bit more of the library builds. They just had a quick little look at the kids area. It's very family friendly, and there's some really cool like new library shelves. And there's also this parents room with a public change table. Very cool. Little playmat there. So hopefully you guys can take your Sims to the library I've built, and you'll have everything there that you need. So then they went over to the final neighborhood, which is Gilbert Gardens. And this is where there's a new recreation center and also the splash park. So this is very pretty. And there's also walking tracks where your elders can like go in a walking group. Actually, I think they can be any age, but I feel like it's really cool for elders. This is Whalebert in the splash park. So your Sims will play in there. I'm pretty sure like dogs will play in there as well. And then this is the rec center, which little Simsy built. So the rec center has just lots of different things for your Sims to do. So there's like a musical area, there's computers, an art studio, gymnasium. It's just like a great lot to have a whole heap of different things for your Sims to do. And there's different games the Sims can play. But what I really like is you can build puzzles and you can actually create a puzzle from reference. So this means that you can actually take a picture of what you want the puzzle to be. And then once they've built the puzzle, which their family can help with, which is quite the project. Great way to socialize though. See, you can see it's the same as the picture before. Oh, the kid actually stole a piece from the puzzle. That's dodgy. Okay, the kid put it back. You can actually put this on your wall in a frame. So these signs are signs to go on a walking track. So you can jog around or you can do the new power walk, which is a super cool walk animation, especially for elders, which is essentially where they power walk as a group and can look around the beautiful sights. I think there's 3 different walking tracks, and that's the new walking animation, you know, they're kind of hunched over and on a bit of a mission, and they'll stop, take a drink. And then last of all, another cool thing that we saw is that you can have extra traits discovered through gameplay. So that way you can actually have 6 traits in total. So depending on what your Sims do and what they experience in life, they may be able to add more traits to give them a broader personality. So that was the whole stream. 2.5 hours compacted into this video. But yeah, this pack looks like it has a lot more depth than what we've ever seen before in The Sims 4. I'm kind of blown away by it. I did not expect it, but I am definitely happy to see it. And I can't wait to play this expansion pack, and I cannot wait to share with you guys my 3 builds that are going to be in this pack as well. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm going to be making a ton of videos. Cannot wait for us to explore this together and do a let's play. Of course, thank you so much to my members as well for all of your love and support for this channel. If you want to join as a member, you just need to do it on desktop. It's unfortunately not in the YouTube app for iPhones, but there is an option to join on Android and PC, just on my channel page or under each video. But thanks again, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below of this new pack and the update coming to The Sims 4. I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. I'll speak to you soon. Dag dag!